sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready. No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here, we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How's everybody doing? Hopefully they're doing great on this Thursday, late morning, early afternoon. Things are still screwed up in this country. Nothing's changed overnight. Now, I was listening to the Sackheads. Of course I was. Why weren't you? And I share some of the nervousness with, I think it was BZ. I'm wondering if Trump, because he seems like he's done this before, where he's let Paul Ryan basically go out there and he's letting him screw himself, show his true colors to the world. And I'm wondering if he's setting him up. And I'm talking with the budget and so forth. I would not put it past Trump playing cards like this. Secondly, yes, Democrats got a lot of what they wanted in this budget. It looks like. The optics right now looks like. But September is when, and this is where Sean, I agreed with his point, and I was actually getting ready to say it in chat. You know, in September is when everybody's going to start campaigning for the 2018 elections. So when would be better for the fight for the wall and border security and all the other stuff Trump promised us? Right when everybody's campaigning. This would be a faint memory. It'll be history. And politics is, what are you doing for me today? So, I'm going to give it a little leeway here. I'm not going to hit the panic mode. So we'll just see how it plays out. Right now, the Democrats are all joy, but I don't think they got the best of Trump. I really don't. There's something in there they haven't realized, or Trump's just setting them up to look like idiots. Now, the big story I was going to lead off with today. The band The Eagles is suing a Mexican hotel that's called Hotel California. So you'd think, okay, well, they're infringing on their song. Well, this hotel opened decades before the release of that famous song, Hotel California. So I don't know if they have much of a case. The hotel was around before the song. How can they say it's infringing on their song? The rock band filed suit in federal court against a 11-room hotel in Baja, Mexico. For using their most famous song's title without their permission. Litigation faces one major hurdle. The real Hotel California opened more than a quarter century before the imaginary one immortalized in the song. Defendants lead U.S. consumers to believe that Todos Santos Hotel is associated with the Eagles and, among other things, serves as an inspiration for the lyrics in Hotel California, which is false, the lawsuit alleges. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. While one can argue that the hotel did inspire the song, one cannot argue that the song inspired the hotel. The founder broke ground on the project in 1947. The birth year, Don Henley, Timothy B. Schmidt, Joe Welsh, Bernie Leadon, and Don Felder. It opened 3 years later. While the property called itself Hotel California at its origin, as dated pictures attest, its founder, a Chinese immigrant named Mr. Wong, I'm not Wong. Stupid joke. Attempted to assimilate by changing his name to Don Antonio Tabasco, which did not fool the locals, who collectively changed his name to El Chino, the Chinese man. The hotel's website further informs, contrary to the claims of the lawsuit, that though the present owner of the hotel do not have any affiliations with the Eagles, nor do they promote any association, many visitors are mesmerized by the coincidences between the lyrics of the hit song and the physicality of the hotel and its surrounding. These coincidences include guests arriving by traveling on a desert highway, hearing mission bells chime daily, and smelling coladas occasionally in the air. Alice, no mirror adorn the ceilings, and you can leave whenever you want. The Eagles famously provoked condemnation when they broke the $100 barrier for tickets at their reunion concert in 1994. With the death of Glenn Frey earlier this year, the opportunity for massive money-making opportunities appear diminished. But litigation lottery generally pays well for the winners. File under Bring Your Alibis. Stuttering idiot. This hotel has nothing to do. Says they have nothing to do with the hotel. Or the song. But yet, they continue the lawsuit because it uses the words Hotel California. Two very common words, by the way. Aging rock stars that are running out of, I guess, money and need money. Either that or some lawyer's like, oh, we can win this lawsuit easily. We'll get you lots of money. It doesn't seem too smart for these idiots to start a lawsuit over something. So, I mean, I can understand if they're like, oh, this is the hotel that inspired, and they try to link themselves to the song. But the band's trying to do everything it can to not link themselves with the song. And that's where the issue lies. It's I don't know. Desperation. I mean, what would cause them to want to ruin their reputation? Stupid idea. I mean, I don't know. This goes to prove not everybody is that smart. All right, what we got here is the House is to vote on a health care bill supposedly on Thursday. House GOP leadership told members of House of Representatives on Wednesday evening that the House will vote on a revised vision of the American Health Care Act on Thursday. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know about you, but anymore, I'm not exactly trustworthy of politicians and what they say. Seems they're willing to screw us over every chance they get. The announcement comes after a very rough process for the bill, which has seen previously scheduled votes pulled after Speaker Paul Ryan failed to accumulate enough Republican support on prior attempts to pass the bill. House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows stepped up and helped negotiate with Tuesday Group Chairman Tom MacArthur a revised vision of the bill dubbed the MacArthur Amendment that revived the effort and collected presumable enough Republican votes to pass the bill. Well, they need to do some more work on it. Because by the sounds of that bill isn't what they say it is. I'm hearing a lot of chatter, as a lot of people have, that this is just a watered-down version of Obamacare. I don't know about you. I voted them in to go in and annihilate Obamacare. I want it gone. Gone, baby. I want something that is actually going to help American people without breaking us. I want a lot of things, but I doubt I'm going to get any of it. I want to see Obamacare repealed, gone, Splitsville, bye-bye. I mean, I'm not asking for a lot here, people. Obamacare is a disaster. We voted in the Republicans to get rid of Obamacare. The aspects that they've talked about keeping are the ones that they're removing. It seems they can't keep their words. The congressmen can. Maybe we need to primary these idiots out of there. I think that'd be a really good start. Get some Republicans that are willing to try to keep their promises to the American people. Because it doesn't seem any of these politicians want to keep their promise to us. It's more than repealing Obamacare. It's giving us a plan that will help us. We're not talking rocket science here, people. Let's get rid of this crap. Now, Meadows is commending the actions of President Donald Trump, Vice President Pence, and Congressman Tom McCarthy bringing the Obamacare repeal package this close to passage. It's more than just passing a repeal bill, people. And they keep thinking that's the only thing. That's all we need to do. No. There's a lot more. And they don't seem to understand that part. But I do. I understand it. I know what the people want. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Hold on one second. All right. So Sean Spicer promotes a bollard wall fencing to satisfy the budget crisis. I'm kind of split on it. It's something up for right now, but it doesn't satisfy Trump's promises of a border wall. I believe we're going to get the border wall. I truly do. But I also understand that it's a game that's being played right now. And it's not a black and white issue. I understand that it's a game going back and forth. Hang on. That the Democrats are doing everything they can to stop this. And the Republicans, the ones that understand and are supportive of Trump, more than just saying that they are supportive, understand that we got to work in steps. And right now, getting anything or everything up to protect the border is better than nothing. But that's not where Trump should stop and say it's a success, which I don't think he will. You got to understand, this man has a huge ego, people. Failure is not in his vocabulary. He hates failure. And not keeping up with his promises is a failure to that man. You know, he's trying to get the feel of politics. But I honestly believe he will get the wall in. It's going to take some time. It's not a perfectly quick process. It is something that's going to take some time. And also the game that has to be played of, yeah, you gotta, the game has to be played of elections, how to win elections and all that. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, now they gotta leave some meat on the bones that shows right before, you know, we go to 2018, these promises are getting kept. And that's going to help us win majority. Too many people are expecting too much all at once. And we can't do that. As much as everybody would like it all done at once, it's not going to happen like that. It's not. Spicer is out there to promote what's best for Trump, to try to put him in the best light. Can that sometimes look a little desperate? Yeah, it can. We know that. We know. I understand how the game is played. I'm going to give time. I'm not going to jump and expect everything to be done right now. It must be done right now. No. I'm not that gullible to think that. I'll give some time for this wall to be built. Now, don't expect forever, because I'm not going to give to the end of time. So this little spat between Breitbart and Sean Spicer. I'm going to give it some time. I'm not going to jump on it. Just going to sit back and just see what comes about. Everybody is expecting too quick. Instant gratification, it seems like everybody's expecting. And we can't do that. It's going to take time, people. A little patience. We've waited this long. I think we can wait just a little bit longer. Just a little bit. Now, I'm not talking years. I'm talking months. So, just take a deep breath. He's going to get his promise. I truly believe he will. This is a man whose ego is going to make him get it done. His ego is going to be in the way. And his ego is going to say, I need to get this done. Anything short of it is a failure. And he knows it. All right. Where are we at? Going through everything. It's going to be one of those slow days, I think. Real quick, that this bollard wall, I think it's also called a levee wall. Now, Spicer refuses to describe his fence photos as Trump's promise wall, but assured them that it would be effective in protecting the border. He told reporters that the fencing was endorsed by DHS Secretary John Kelly. Kelly has proposed large bollard fencing to help secure the border, although he has also supported the idea of a concrete wall on the border. Nobody has any patience. Patience, Padawan. Patience. Seriously, just deep breath. Patience. It will happen. I am not sure of it. He is going to fight tooth and nail. Now, I could see some Democrats interfering, yes. But if we can give full control, supermajority in the Senate, there's nothing the Democrats can do. Then if nothing happens, then we need to raise holy hell. But the Democrats still have their hands in it, and they're blocking. They're running interference as best as they can, and that's what's giving trouble right now. Because they know if the border is secure, the Republicans are going to be winning election after election after election after election. If Trump gets to keep his promises, they are in deep, deep shit. So they're just out to block. That's all they're doing. Block. Nothing more, nothing less. They're not interested in protecting the public. They're not interested in doing what's best for the public. They are there just to try to do what's best for their jobs. And that's all I see the Democrats doing. And it's going to hurt them because the American people have woken up and they're actually paying attention to what's going on now. And the Democrats can't get that through their heads. They're watching this. They're watching what Schumer's doing. They're not stupid to what Schumer is doing. He thinks he's all slick and, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to block and I'm going to tell them it's this, and they won't know the difference. For many decades, the American people sat back. But a lot of them understand now. That is what caused this issue. Why our country went to hell. Because we sat back, we didn't pay attention. We let the politicians do what we thought was best to be done. And it's bitten us in the ass. I don't think that mistake's going to be made again anytime soon. I really don't. I don't see that same mistake again. The American people are too pissed off at this point. There's going to be a wall. It's going to run into a lot of obstacles. But it'll get done. UC Berkeley's really showing its colors because as they block conservatives from speaking, they now are going to be hosting a Communist Party event on how to driving Trump supporters from campus. So they're allowing a communist gathering on how to silence free speech from conservatives. And they're going to allow that to go on. That shows the true face of Berkeley. That shows what they're really about. And it's Ann Cloutier and Mylar not fighting for free speech. Come hear arguments why they should be driven off campus. Right there, it's screaming why they need to stop free speech. Stopping people from talking is not promoting free speech, people. And they're using these titles for simple-minded people. They keep using words like fascist and all that, and these college-educated idiots, that's bad. I learned that in history. It's bad. We got to fight against it. The problem is they're using fascist techniques. I don't know how many more times I can say that. It's scary. They're using the techniques of our enemy. And then expecting us to back them. Yeah, that takes a lot. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. I'm just sitting back and looking this over. And I wonder, what goddamn country am I in? The discussion at UC Berkeley is being held by Sunsara Taylor, a leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party. Revolutionary Communist Party. And that is who Berkeley is pushing to have these discussions. The flyer advertising for the event describes Taylor as a revolutionary communist and a follower of Bob Advokin, who is a graduate of UC Berkeley, is the chairman of the Revolutionary Communist Party. That's the party that controls Russia. But yet they're saying that Trump is in connection with Russia. And they got to try. It doesn't make sense. Why? Because there is no collusion between Trump and Russia. the ones that have the connections is the left. They're the ones using the techniques. They're the ones using communist parties to promote their agendas. It's sad, is what it is, that our country has gone this far to hell. And the Democrat Party just keeps backing it. They're backing everything we are against. They say they want to have talk and they challenge to debate. But they only want a one-sided conversation. Because it's the only way they can win is a one-sided conversation. Again, Ann Coulter and Milo, I don't agree with everything they say. I'm not big fans of theirs. Doesn't mean they don't have a right to speak. Just as this idiot, Taylor, has a right to speak. But they're going to age. George Bush and Trump are Adolf Hitler. We can't have the right, the fascists, speaking, so we're going to use violence for political purpose, which is the definition of fascism. And the left just keep sitting back and think, oh, this is normal. We're winning. This is helping us. Idiots. It's pissing people off. It's pissing the common man off. It's pushing them further away from the Democrat Party. But they're too blind with their own power to see it. And they're destroying this country as they go down in flames. Because idiots like Schumer, oh, we're doing good, oh, we're winning. Yeah. You're destroying this country. And that's sad. The only thing they care about is their power. Their kickbacks. The only thing the Democrat Party does anymore is protect cartels, terrorists, and criminals. It is not for the common man. It is not to help the middle class. There's nothing they've done in recent history that has helped the middle class. They've screwed over the middle class, helped destroy the middle class, but nothing to help the middle class. They don't do anything that will help the poor. I'm hoping Democrat Party gets one more huge defeat in November 2018. They get smacked around, and they're forced to really look inside, finally, and see exactly the policies, what their policies have been doing. Because they don't seem to care to look for justice. Seems the only thing they cared about is how to screw over the American people. That's all. And that's all they keep doing. And they got to get a huge wake up. They need to. They need to get smacked in that face and say, hey, we're tired of your bullshit. And I don't even know if a major loss will do that. I don't know. They might be too far gone, too far stupid. Too far past go for them to realize just what they're doing. But only time will tell. Again, I don't want to see a 100% conservative government. It will corrupt them too far. Too much power is never good. A nice balance is needed. A balance to the force. I know I make jokes about it, but it's... It's... I don't know. So Gabby Gifford and the Dem lawmakers pledged to fight concealed carry for law-abiding citizens. They don't believe that law-abiding citizens have a right to protect themselves. They've been trying for a very long time to take guns out of law-abiding hands. And it just empowers the criminals. Because they have security, so they don't give a shit. They're protected around the clock, so it doesn't affect them. They make sure that they have exemptions and protection, while us peons are left to fend for ourselves. On May 3rd, gun control proponent Gabby Gifford joined Democrat lawmakers on Capitol Hill in pledging to fight efforts to nationalize concealed carry for law-abiding citizens. By opposing national reciprocation, Gifford and lawmakers like Chris Murphy are literally working against citizens who have received some level of firearm education and or training and have undergone background checks for their permit. This comes even as Gifford's gun control group is demanding background checks as a way to know who should and should not be able to own a gun. According to Newsweek, Gifford's spoke at a press conference Wednesday saying, "Stopping gun violence takes courage. We must never stop fighting. The nation's counting on you." She took up a campaign for background checks just 2 years after an attacker shot her with a gun he acquired via a background check. He got it even after going through a background check. And yet, they still are fighting. And they're never going to stop. Even if we gave them everything they want, they're going to go for bans. And they say, oh, we don't want to ban guns. We don't want to ban guns. I want to ban assault rifles. We want to ban these types of shotguns. We want to ban these types of guns. But you just said you didn't want to ban guns. It's a joke. And the punchline is death of America. Death of American citizens. Victims. Look at the cities that have strong gun control. Chicago's doing real great, aren't they? How many thousands have been shot already? Baltimore. Very strong gun control. And you got people shot all over the place. Criminals don't give a shit about laws. You can put as many laws in as you want. And that's the part they know. They don't put those laws in to stop criminals. They put the laws in to stop law-abiding people from getting guns. That is their ban. Make it as restrictive as they can to make it as hard as it can be to get a gun for self-defense. So you wind up being victims, like my father and my family were. And they don't care. Where's the majority of these mass shootings happening? In gun-free zones. I don't want anybody ever have to suffer what my family suffered. Because the only thing these gun laws do is stop law abiding. The criminals count on their victims being unarmed. It makes it easy for them. They hope that you're unarmed. They want an easy payday. That's why they're criminals. They want the easiest way out. They're not going to go in high gun ownership areas because they know there's a chance they're going to get shot and killed. And the Democrats know this, but yet they keep pushing gun control because they don't give a rat's ass about you or me. They want us disarmed. They want us victims. They want us counting on the government, begging the government to step in. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media. I won't stop fighting against gun control. I hope you won't either.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm here to make sense out of the senseless, except when I'm talking about Democrats, because there is no sense in them. It Now, Murphy was talking about the NRA, and he says the NRA expects something from their endorsement of Donald Trump, but suggests that while the NRA is fighting for the Second Amendment on the federal level, Democrats will be fighting against it where they can on the state level. That right there says it all. The NRA is fighting for the Second Amendment, while the Democrats will be fighting against it. That is a quote from a Democrat. Right there. They are fighting against the Second Amendment. Openly admitting they are fighting against the Second Amendment. As they love to say when it comes to abortion, the Supreme Court has already ruled on it. You know, they always, Wade versus Roe. But they ignore... brain fart. What is it, Keller versus DC? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Hang on. Holy shit. Yeah. DC for... Oh, Heller. Not Keller. Heller. You don't see them screaming about that. They want to ignore that. But when it comes to abortion, holy shit, Supreme Court ruled, shut your mouth, we can't discuss it. But here we have a Democrat admitting that he is going to fight against the Second Amendment. He's going to fight against it. That says it all, people. They ignore Supreme Court when it doesn't go for them. When it does, oh my God. You can't say nothing about abortion. Wade versus Roe. Wade versus Roe. Shut the fuck up already. Seriously, it's getting tiresome and whiny. Listen, I don't want to shut down. I'm not saying we should shut down abortion. That's a discussion I've had multiple times on the show. But at the same time, you can't sit there and say you're going to ignore the Supreme Court ruling just because it doesn't suit you. Well, you can, but you look like a goddamn hypocrite. Which is the normal for Democrats. Murphy has been fighting against law-abiding citizens' right to keep and bear arms for years. On August 6, 2013, it's Murphy's contention that the right to keep and bear arms is not a God-given right. His entire statement is the Second Amendment is not an absolute right, not a God-given right. It has always had condition upon it like First Amendment has. There you go. Democrats claiming they have full control over your rights. Amendments. The whole purpose of our Bill of Rights is to state our God-given rights that the government can't touch. And Hillary has said it. All of our amendments, all of them can be regulated by the government. They could do what they want and regulate all of our amendments when it suits them. And I'm not talking repealing an amendment. They want to regulate. They want to control what your rights are. That's not what the goddamn Bill of Rights is about. Friggin' amazing these Democrats are. Goes to show. They don't care what the Constitution say. All right, look at California. The Democrats admit they ignore the bill of or the Constitution. They ignore it. They admit it. They don't give a shit. They just outright ignore it. And they're going to keep ignoring it. That's actually... With such claims, Murphy is essentially arguing that America's right to keep and bear arms is granted by the government, a position which Thomas Jefferson and his fellow founding fathers rejected in 1776, writing the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving just powers from the consent of the governed." It seems that Murphy wants to govern without consent. He wants to ignore our founding documents, our founding fathers. And what I find really amazing is, don't they all take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution? As Murphy and many of Democrats are ignoring not only the Constitution, but their oath, which is, in some states, an impeachable offense. CBS, is feeling the heat right now. Stephen Colbert shot his mouth off. What's funny is they always scream, well, when they go low, we go high. Well, Stephen Colbert, whatever that jackass's name is, proves they always go low. He made a comment about Trump's mouth is only good for as being Vladimir Putin's manhood holster. Which now is also coming backfire because a lot of claimed that it was bigoted and homophobic. You know, the left does this all the time. They say and do whatever they want, but they're not held to the same standard. I don't see CBS doing shit over this. They knew who he was, what he was about when they hired him. It's a liberal-leaning business, but they hold conservatives to a higher standard. I'm not calling for boycotts. I just don't watch the asshole. I don't find him funny. I find him repulsive. But shortly after the remarks were made, social media was quick in making a hashtag Fire Colbert, which was a top trending topic on Twitter Tuesday. Holy for holies, top trending topic on Twitter Tuesday. Colbert's homophobic rant was disgusting, and we won't tolerate this anti-LGBTQ behavior. One user wrote, "Liberals ruin the career of conservatives over all the time, so the hashtag Fire Colbert campaign is just giving libs a taste of their own medicine. So-called Colbert is a homophobe and a bigot. He's all of his CBS advisors. Here is a list of all the CBS advisors. Contact them to tell them to stop funding him. I don't think CBS should fire Colbert. Just end the double standards when conservatives say things that gays and transsexuals find offensive. Liberals ruin careers of conservatives all the time." That was a double one. Hey, CBS, Stephen Colbert is not a comic. I never tune in because of his hate-filled attitude. And what's funny is the liberals talk about hate speech, and the only one I hear hate speech coming out about is from the left. They're so filled with hate. Another one wrote, CBS, stand up and do the right thing, fire Colbert. This should not be tolerated. If it was said about Obama, he would have been gone. Dead on point about that. If it was reversed and this was said about Obama, you'd see the Democrats screaming. So, Colbert is saying homophobic things again. Disappointing that CBS supports and empowers this. I don't know that it was homophobic, but Colbert's comment was very inappropriate and not funny enough to be worthy the risk. Some social medias call for a boycott of CBS and the network's advisor. Time for him to go. Total trash. They're going to boycott advertisers. Boycott CBS. German Lopez, a reporter for left-wing news outlet Vox, wrote that Colbert's joke pointedly mocked gay people. In a setting in which Colbert is deliberately trying to find a way to insult Trump, it's telling that he resorts to suggesting that Trump is engaging in a sexual act with another man. The suggestion is that the worst thing that could happen for these men is if they engage in homosexual acts together, as if that devalues them as men or emasculates them. So he's got the left also coming at him. Colbert's over-the-top late-night monologue also include fat jokes about President Trump. He's a comedian. This is what's funny. The left gets its news from comedians. They got it from Jon Stewart. They get it from Colbert. They get it from Samantha Bee. And then when they're confronted, what do we hear? Oh, we're just comedians. We're not here to talk about facts. We're here to make jokes. But they're sitting there running their mouths as if it's facts, trying to push public opinion their way. Colbert, of course, ignores what the negatives being said. Because the left, well, they can say whatever the fuck they want. Everybody else must eat crow. Because he is above you. Colbert is above you and can do whatever he wants. Well, that is why I don't watch that kind of trash. I don't want no part of it. And with that, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, who's always and will always fight for your Second Amendment rights, right here on SHR Media. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. It really is ridiculous anymore with what's going on. It's an embarrassment. The Democrats are, it's like, okay, they're acting like children that didn't get their way, and holy cow. And I just wonder when they're going to grow up. When are they going to finally stop with the BS, take responsibility, and start acting appropriately? No, they want to try to destroy as much as they can of this country. I know I keep harping on that, but it's... Damn. Come on. It's just... they could do better. And you know what? They would probably win a lot more elections that way. I mean, It's unbelievable. Nancy Pelosi seems to be in total denial also. She thinks that the party is 100% unified. Well, anybody with a brain can see Democrats are anything but that. House Minority Speaker Nancy Pelosi appears to be in a denial about severely fractured state of the Democrat Party. Asked by ABC's Jonathan Carl to grade the Democrats during the first 100 days of President Donald Trump's administration, Pelosi responded, in terms of unity, 100% unified. Anybody else smell bullshit? Carl shot back, asking her, 2/3 of American people say the Democrat Party is out of touch. Isn't the Democrat Party a bit of a mess right now? And Pelosi responded, no, it isn't. However, some recent examples in the media points to just how divided the Democrats are. Recently appointed Democrat National Committee Vice Chairman Keith Ellison blamed former President Barack Obama last month for his party's 2016 losses and not being a better party leader. According to The Hill, while speaking at an event in the University of Minnesota, Ellison said, look, I'm a great fan of President Obama, but there's always the big but. Barack could have been a better party leader, and I think the fact that he wasn't put his legacy in jeopardy. The left's progressive darling, Senator Elizabeth Warren, also criticized Obama's giant bling spot and his communications with most Americans. I think President Obama, like many others in both parties, talked about a set of big national statistics that look shiny and great, but increasingly have giant blind spots. That GDP, unemployment no longer reflect the lived experience of most Americans. It's funny, she's doing the same thing. She's doing the exact same thing. Warren also said she was troubled that Obama received $400,000 to address a Wall Street conference on health care this fall. Senator Bernie Sanders, a prime example of the division between the Democrat Party's establishment and progressive wing, also blasted Obama about his distasteful Wall Street speech. Speaking with CNN last month, Sanders said Obama's decision to take that opportunity was not a good idea and that he was sorry President Obama made that choice. I just think it is distasteful, not a good idea that he did that. I find it kind of funny that the man in the party that scream about Wall Street have so many people connected to Wall Street. However, the party's weakness becomes more evident when examining the tension between DNC Chairman Tom Perez and Sanders. Just this week, the DNC snubbed Sanders and his supporters, arguing that the party did not owe them a fair 2016 primary process. me say that again. DNC did not owe them a fair 26 primary process. The Washington Examiner reported DNC lawyers argue that they don't owe anyone a fair process and that the rules in their charter are basically not binding in court. In fact, if they wanted to, DNC attorney Bruce Spriva argued they could choose their nominee in a smoke-filled back room and it still wouldn't be legally actionable. DNC chair Tom Perez has also contributed to the party's divisionness by making pro-life Democrats feel unwelcome in the party. In a statement last month, Perez says every Democrat, like America, should support a woman's right to make her own choice about her body and her health, adding, every candidate who runs as a Democrat should share the Democrat Party's position on women's fundamental rights. What that does is say to Americans, if you're pro-life and you're Democrat, piss off. Instead of trying to go more moderate, they're going deeper down the rabbit hole. Deeper and deeper and deeper. As for Pelosi, members of her own party have called her out of touch with her Democratic base. In 2016 interview with CBS News Face the Nation, Pelosi said, I don't think people want a new direction. Ever since she got elected, the Democrat Party's been heading down a very horrible path. Very horrible. Underneath Pelosi, they have lost over 1,000 seats. Nationally, state, top to bottom. Last November, Representative Cedric Richmond criticized Pelosi and suggested her proposal to empower junior members of Congress by making certain positions available only to lawmakers who have served fewer than 3 or 4 terms. 3 or 4 terms. While she and Representative John Claiborne and Steny Hoyer remain in their current position, could decrease the Congressional Black Caucus's power while seemingly increasing her own. The reality is that from the perspective of the CBC, some changes may be beneficial while others have severe unintended consequences that could diminish our power as a caucus within the Democratic caucus. It is, I would say, worse than they actually thought. By far worse than they thought. Oh, by the way, when I was talking yesterday about that climate change and the top physicists at MIT speaking out against climate change, I found the original article. I posted it up on Reaver of Common Sense for everybody to read. Actually, shit, I got to change that slightly. I forgot to put credit where credit's due. But it's... They're going down path of how bad can we piss off the American people. That's what I see. How bad can we piss off the American people and lose elections? Then again, it may just be me and I may be nuts. I don't know. It seems whatever is the most extreme, out-of-touch idea, the Democrats get behind. If it's for criminals, they get behind. It's just holy. Holy for holy. I don't know. We're not going down the path that's going to help our country. The Democrats are not doing anything that's going to help. They're hindering in every way. When they were in office, they were hindering, they were slowing, they were obstructing. Harry Reid obstructed so bad to try to make the Republicans look bad. The American people saw through it. It's not hard either. It is not hard to see through the bullshit. If you know where to look, it's right there. Oh, We're not doing anything helpful in this country. We have FBI agents that seem to forget what laws are about. The Democrats want to cover up. They think it's bad that, well, of course they do. The criminal activity got exposed. And they're trying everything to dissuade still the discussions to talk about their illegal activities. It's amazing. Amazing how much cover up is needed for the Democrat Party. They just don't want anything to do with legality. They just want to be, as wild as they can be. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Send our wishes to Mr. Burton, and hopefully it goes by quick. So FBI Director James Comey hit back Wednesday against Democrat criticism of his decision to reopen the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email 11 days before the 2016 election. He said, although it made him mildly nauseous to think he could have had some impact on the election, he believes he did the right thing and to this day would not change his mind. It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election, but honestly, it wouldn't change the decision, he told the Senate Judiciary Committee at the hearing. In explaining his decision to reopen the investigation, he said investigators found metadata on the seized laptop of Anthony Weiner, top Clinton aide Huma Abedin's husband, that showed there were thousands of Clinton emails on the device, including classified information. Investigators believe the emails could include emails missing from her first 3 months as Secretary of State. Comey said after repeatedly telling members of Congress that the FBI had concluded its investigation into Clinton, the only right thing to do was to let Congress know the case was reopened. I could see two doors, and they were both actions. One was labeled speak, and the other was labeled conceal, he said. Having repeatedly told this to Congress, we are done and there's nothing there. There's no case there. There's no case there to start in a hugely significant way. Potentially finding the emails that would reflect on her intent from the beginning and not speak about it would require an active concealment, in my view, Comey stated. I still believe a massive cover-up was done. He said speak would be really bad, but concealing, in my view, would be catastrophic. He said he was asked by a junior lawyer whether his decision would help then-candidate Donald Trump, but said he did not for a moment. Not for a moment, because down the path lies the death of the FBI as an independent institution in America. I could not consider for a second whose political fortunes will be affected in what way. Comey said the investigation into Weiner's laptop showed that Abedin had regularly forwarded emails to her husband, likely for him to print out for her. He said Abedin forwarded hundreds of thousands of emails to Weiner, 40,000 of which they reviewed. 3,000 of those were work-related, and 12 of them contained classified information. But he said Abedin and Weiner were not charged with any wrongdoing since investigators did not find a general sense of criminal intent. A decision that Senator Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz scoffed at. You have a lot of people that never had intent and got charged for sending classified information to the wrong places, taking copies of a photo. Graham said someone should be prosecuted for allowing Weiner to have access to classified information. Weiner is a former New York congressman who resigned after he was caught sending sexual explicit photos of himself to a woman. He later was involved in several more similar scandals, and after an article claimed he had engaged in sexting with a 15-year-old girl, investigators seized his laptop. Again, Democrats protect criminals. Despite Comey's impassionate defense of why he announced the investigation, Democrats on the committee continue to criticize him. They ignore the fact that there was criminal activity happening, and it was ignored. And it was being conducted by the Democrats. So, of course, they want to deflect off that part of the conversation. FBI director has come under fire from Democrats since Clinton's loss in November to Trump. Clinton herself on Tuesday said it was on the way to winning until Comey's announcement. I'm glad they know the outcome, because they still said they were going to win no matter what. They said it did not affect them. It sounds like a bunch of sore losers crying that they lost. Hillary still can't blame herself that she was a bad candidate. Senator John Cornyn, during the hearing, apologized to Comey for Clinton's remark and said she is blaming everyone but herself, and that is where she ought to be pointing the blame. She was a bad candidate. She hid for 3 months from the press. She had everybody else doing campaigning for her while she didn't do shit. There's a ton of reasons why she didn't get elected. And it doesn't start with FBI or WikiLeaks. This shows you the true nature of the Democrat Party. This shows what they're truly, truly about. President Trump ridicules Hillary Clinton for complaining about the election again. President Donald Trump ridiculed former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for complaining again that Russian President Vladimir Putin and FBI Director James Comey contributed to her election loss. FBI Director Comey was the best thing that ever happened to Hillary Clinton, and that he gave her a free pass for many bad deeds. And that is in reference to Comey's public statement exonerating Clinton and her private email scandal. Clinton complained, however, that Comey's October statement admitting that the FBI investigation of Hillary Clinton was not complete hurt her image with the American people. Trump called Clinton's statement phony, reminding his followers that Clinton failed miserably on her own. The phony Trump-Russia story was an excuse used by the Democrats as justification for using an election. Perhaps Trump just ran a better campaign. Clinton acknowledged during the event that Trump might challenge her on Twitter, but said she would happily serve as a distraction for the president. They're also claiming the misogyny in the United States played a role in her not winning an election. Well, how about the sexism that vote for me because I'm a woman? Vote for me because what's between my legs? Vote for me to make history, to vote for the first woman. Woman, woman, woman. That's sexist. You wanted people, and there's so many people, oh, I'm voting for her because I want the first woman president. That's sexist. She got a shitload of votes of people saying that she was a bad candidate, but they were voting because she's a woman. That's sexist. It's a goddamn joke is what it is, her excuses. She was a bad candidate, period. She could not connect with the American people. She didn't know how to talk to the American people. She put a goddamn video out there screaming, why is she not, 50 points ahead? Why is she behind? Why crying and whining and chastising the American people? That was a good idea to put out to the public, you morons? It was a good idea for her to chastise the American people and call us deplorable, racist, sexist? To insult the American people is a good idea to win elections? You got to be really mentally stupid to do that. Let me insult my base and expect you to vote for me. Let me belittle you and expect you to vote for me. That'd be like me expecting Democrats to speak highly of me as much as I rail against them. You got to be a special kind of stupid to think you could rail against the American people, the people that are going to vote for you, insult them, belittle them, demean them, and then expect them to vote for your sorry ass. And the Democrats are still doing it. They're still attacking the people. Never in my life of 45 years have I seen a candidate attack the constituents and expect them to vote for him. Sort of like Paris in France right now. You got a candidate that's out there going, well, you better get used to terrorism. It's here to stay. Suck it up. You got to deal with getting killed, raped. Just deal with it. Vote for me, by the way. I'm not going to change a thing. See you on Election Day. You got to be a special kind of stupid to go out and say something like that. And with that, I'll see everybody tomorrow, bright and early, at 11 a.m. for the Reaver of Common Sense. Have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.